Tensions between Washington and Tehran is surging to a new level. President Donald Trump has softened language and narrative on military action, even as he keeps pressure on Iran. Tehran is firing back with a stark warning any attack will be treated as an all-out war with significant consequences for West Asia and beyond.
American warships are ready to strike. The Iranian army is on high alert, ready to respond. The fuse in West Asia is burning short. The streets of Tehran are full of ominous warnings to the Americans. While one says we don't want war with the US, another shows coffins in American flags with a dire warning. US carriers prowl the seas, F-35s locked and loaded. President Donald Trump says that Iran is talking to the US and hinted at a deal to avoid the use of military strikes.
Saudi Arabia's defense minister reportedly said that if the U.S. backs off a strike, that will only embolden Tehran. And what's your reaction to that, sir?
Well, some people think that, and some people don't. If you could make a negotiated deal that would be satisfactory with no nuclear weapons, they should do that. But I don't know that they will, but they are talking to us, seriously talking to us.
Trump added that US allies in West Asia are not being told of plans for possible strikes due to security reasons. He has threatened to intervene in Iran in the wake of a deadly crackdown on anti-government protests. But Tehran is not recalibrating its stance. Iran's Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, warns that any US military strike would trigger a regional war, asserting that Tehran would deliver a firm blow to any attacker, while insisting that it does not seek to initiate conflict.
When you hear them talking about war, saying things like, we'll come with this plane or that plane and do this or that, it's nothing new. The Americans have threatened us repeatedly in the past, saying all options are on the table, which includes the option of war. They've always said these things. Similarly, this person constantly claims they've brought warships, but the Iranian nation shall not be intimidated by these things.
Senior Iranian officials have echoed that sentiment, saying that Iran will treat any attack, limited or otherwise, as a full-scale war and respond accordingly.
Trump can launch an attack and then immediately 2 hours later post a tweet and say that I finished the work. No, this will definitely lead to an all-out war. It will harm the interests of many countries. It will actually involve itself.
Tehran, meanwhile, has said that it is ready for nuclear talks if its missile and defense capabilities are not on the agenda. This clash of signals, Trump's attempts to temper language while keeping military options visible, and Iran's vow to respond fiercely to any aggression has driven confusion and concern across capitals. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
So the war of words between Iran and the United States continue because Ali Khamenei says that if you attack us, then that means it's an all-out war in the region and West Asia needs to remain cautious. US President Donald Trump says that he will strike Iran when he pleases and when he sees that the regime there has not made any changes and has not, controlled the repression and oppression in Iran. Joining us live now is Dr. Mir Javed Anfar. He's a lecturer of Iranian politics at Reichman University in Israel. He is also a West Asia analyst and co-author of the Nuclear Sphinx of Tehran. Mr. Javed, thank you very much for making time for us and welcome to the broadcast. There's a lot of talk going around center, right, and left. The United States says that they will strike Iran when they please. They are now saying that they're in talks with Iran. Iran says that any attack on us, that means an all-out war in West Asia. Who's saying what?
This is a very good question, and I can basically, to decipher everything that's being said, the Americans are saying, look, unless you're going to agree to our demands regarding your nuclear program, your missile program, and our demands that you stop killing your people, we will attack you. And the Iranians, meanwhile, are saying, meanwhile, the Americans are also saying that there are talks, and these talks are continuing. On the Iranian side, they're saying, okay, we're willing to talk, but just that you know, in case you attack us, we're going to basically make sure that the whole region is destabilized. And it's both sides trying to strengthen their hands in what is going on right now, which is basically negotiations. Negotiations possibly before war. We don't know if there is going to be a war. It is possible, but we're not sure. But what we know for a fact that there are negotiations, and in negotiations, each side tries to strengthen their hands. And these messages that you just mentioned from the Iranian side and from the American side are aimed at strengthening their respective hands in these talks.
Dr. Mir, let me ask you this then. What's the end game for Iran and the regime that is running the country? Because the narrative has now changed. We are now talking about oppression and repression of Iranians. How long is that going to continue, and what's going to happen to make sure that the regime doesn't continue with the oppression and repression?
What is happening in Iran in terms of the number of deaths in such a short space of time is unprecedented in Iranian history, and quite possibly unprecedented in Middle Eastern history. We have never had such a large number of people, no matter which estimate you listen to, being killed in such a short space of time by their own rulers. This is unprecedented. There is President Trump, I think, is trying to deter the regime first by trying to reach an agreement with them, and if that doesn't work, by attacking them, to deterring them from killing more Iranians. But I have to say, it pains me to say that I think this regime, one of the things that it is most adamant about is killing anybody inside Iran who wants this regime gone. And we saw it, we saw their determination to do this starting from beginning of January. These protests erupted on the 28th of December. The regime is basically portraying people inside Iran who want a better economic future as enemies of Islam, and thus making it permissible for Iranian security personnel to kill them, just as the Quran allows the faithful to kill those who want to undermine the great religion of Islam or want to overthrow the Islamic rule. And this is very worrying. This is very worrying because the regime in Iran, these are the people who trained and consulted Bashar al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad learned from them. Let's remember what Bashar al-Assad did to the people of Syria. He killed 500,000 of them. I think the Iranian regime, it pains me to say, is prepared to do the same just to stay in power.
Well, Dr. Mir Javed Anfar, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time and for talking to us.